High school hasn't prepared me for life. It's not supposed to. I think your parents are supposed to do that, but parents don't do that anymore. And they think high school's supposed to do it. And the problem is that neither does. High school is supposed to prepare you to work in a factory. High school in the US is supposed to give you a well-rounded formal education in various academic subjects. But education isn't just about academia. It's about learning how to live, right? And I think a lot of that you actually get straight up from extracurriculars, from being in clubs, being in other programs outside of just standard schooling. I think that's where you learn a lot of that stuff. And you learn more with responsibility, because when you join clubs and things like that, sometimes you end up taking on responsibility yourself, and you are actually in charge of getting a thing done front to back. You're not just handed a worksheet, right? And I think the more, when people are more well-rounded outside of their basic academics and they go and do a lot of that other stuff, they end up being a lot better off when they're just thrown into life. Because even if they don't know how to do something, they have a lot of experience in figuring out how to do something. Because, you know, you join some club and they're like, welcome to robotics club. Here's some books. Here's a computer. Figure out how to do this thing. We'll teach you the basics, right? And then a lot of the kids that are really good in that club, that are like, you know, fourth year students that have been there for forever doing all this stuff, they're doing crazy shit because they just learned how to do it. They just picked it up, right? I feel like a lot of responsibility and the ability to learn on your own is taught through clubs and not through teachers themselves. So I think, yeah, if any of you are still in school, take the opportunity to just get involved in other shit. It's real. It's not a waste of time. You know, if it doesn't give you credits toward a degree, it's not a waste of time at all. Straight up. You loved robotics club? I had I made a little robot that it wore my club, the teacher in charge of the club, it wore one of his old lab coats, and I made like a wire man, looked like him, and we gave it like a couple robotic arms that were very basic, and we would drive it around and talk through a little microphone that was attached to it, and we'd be like, go back to class, so we would tell people to like, do you have a hall pass, you know, that sort of thing. And then if they said like, yes, I have one, we'd like use the little robotic arm to grab it and look at it. It was purely for stupid shit. It wasn't even like, it's such a stupid robot. But we did that. We didn't have any budget to use new stuff though, so we had to keep Frankensteining robots together out of old parts. We couldn't keep something and then make a new thing with new resources, right? Like we didn't have that. So we ended up buying or providing some of our own shit too, just to have it, because, you know, budget wasn't really there. But I did a lot of, I was really, really, really involved with a lot of extracurricular stuff. And while I did pay attention in class and I did worry about my grades, whatever, I would rather have a 95 in a class and focus on something extracurricular than have 100 in that class and have nothing to do outside of that class. You know, so I reallocated some of my effort to things outside of class a little bit. I still kept grades like up, you know, but there was a point where I was like, there's the difference between 95 and 100 is nothing compared to like the time I could spend doing other shit that I like. So I didn't care. On 95, lol. I mean, it depended on the class, but I'm gonna be honest, that was really easy to achieve depending on what it was. Especially if it was high school. Come on, man. Come on. Certain classes that's harder, other classes you don't need to do anything to maintain a 95. It really depends on what it is. You know. It depends. Also depends on what school you go to. An A and an A plus is like shrug. Yeah, it's very I didn't see the point. There were a bunch of students that were going for like top 10. They wanted to be top 10, right? And then there were like a couple students that were fighting to be valedictorian. They really wanted to be valedictorian, and I was like, you are so fucking annoying sometimes. You know? I was like, just be happy you're in the top whatever percent, bro. Who fucking cares? But they, you know, one of them was like, I want to go to this Ivy League school. I have to be the valedictorian, and then I'm going to be the valedictorian when I'm there. And I'm like, no. You're going to go there and you're going to get torn apart. Like, who fucking cares? It doesn't matter. Can you get the job that you want with that 95? Yes, you can. Okay. So like, don't worry about it. But I had this valedictorian from my high school. He was very nice, but man, he was so stressed, and he did a couple of extracurriculars, but he couldn't really put all of his time and effort into them. he was like, he was just sitting there and he was studying and studying and studying, and he had this smile in photos where he looked dead inside. Dead inside. Okay? Every photo of him in high school, picture, click, what do you see? Toothy smile, but everything from his nose up was relaxed. There was no smile in his eyes, his eyebrows. He was not smizing, you know what I mean? Nothing. It was just the mouth. Yeah, peepo teeth. Literally, he was that emote, and he thought that was like a smile for a picture, you know? And I would always look at it and I'd be like, this dude's not okay. This dude is not okay. Like, he was always like that. And I was like, hey, this is horrible. Oh my God.